Hi guys, it's Simon from Tech My Life Video, and I may even put this video over on my music channel, which is Soul Trader Music, because it relates, and this is Soul Trader, this is me when I'm playing music, but the reason being that I'm putting on that channel will kind of become a bit more apparent. Basically I wanted to talk about Geo Tagging. Now, if you don't know what it is, basically it's the fact that in Australia we can't watch US Netflix. We can't access that content. Well, we can. There are ways around it. But just in general, we can't watch US Netflix. We can't watch Canadian Netflix. We have to have Australian Netflix. And they're not the same. There's a lot of differences in the programming. So, you can, as I said, you can get around it if you want to get around it. But, you know, in principle, I kind of go, look, I understand it's about the copyright owners, the producers of the material, not wanting to kind of get shortchanged or ripped off. Generally, consumers seem to be happy to pay for stuff if it's kind of affordable and easily accessible. Otherwise, they're just going to download it. So, for example, a series comes out on US Netflix as soon as it's launched, and a whole bunch of Australian people kind of can't get it on Australian Netflix. So what do? They go and download it illegally, or they circumvent the geotagging and access US Netflix. Now, I never accessed US Netflix before it came to Australia, and my kind of reason for doing it was kind of because I was like, well, I don't want to access it. I want them to bring it to Australia, you know. And I feel like if people can keep accessing it, then there's less reason for them to bring it to Australia. And I just couldn't be bothered going through the rigmarole of setting it up. You know, I guess same things like I use League Pass on NBA, and I use an international one, and maybe I could get a US one if I circumvented the geotagging. So basically, what they're talking about in Australia at the moment is trying to get rid of geotagging. So we have a service called iView in Australia, which allows us to access ABC. Now, ABC in Australia is kind of a non-commercial network, but outside Australia, you can't access that. So if I went and lived overseas, and I thought I'd love to be able to watch the ABC while I'm living overseas, and I could do it through that app, but because of geotagging, I can't. If Australia and other countries for me to be able to watch that overseas, it would require other countries to remove their geotagging. But basically, it's about they're talking about creating competition in the marketplace. So if geotagging is removed, I can access Australian Netflix for that price, or I can choose to go to America for that price, and therefore I can't get ripped off in Australia. So as a consumer, it's great. You go, well, there's going to be a lot more competition, and you know, we get ripped off here bad. A lot of companies don't ship to Australia, which is really frustrating. So we have to buy through Nike Australia, for example, instead of Nike USA, and Nike Australia have no stock of anything. They stock such a limited product range compared to the US. It's crazy. But the reason why this is on my music channel, and the reason why, you know, I'm wearing my Soul Trader t-shirt and I'm mentioning it, is that one of the things they mentioned on the radio when they were talking about this was the fact that they're going, you know, they were talking about copyright owners, and they brought copyright into the conversation, and that's what it's all trying to protect ultimately, is that copyright people who produce the material, like movies or music or whatever it might be, are getting money for their product. What they mentioned on the radio is that copyright, this woman who clearly is not a creative and knows nothing, and up until this point I was like, yep, sounds like a good idea, sounds like a good idea, oh my god, you're an idiot. She said copyright shouldn't go on after the person dies. So at the moment, I think it's about 50 years in Australia. I think in America it's now 70 years. And she was like, people produce material for their own benefit, and copyright shouldn't extend after they die because they didn't produced that material for the you know, for the benefit of their family and loved ones. Really? What? So what you're telling me is that in a business world, if I start a company and after I die, do I just lose that company? No, I don't. I build that company up, and I build up that asset, or those, you know, that system, those products, that intellectual property, and when I die, the company owns that and the company goes on. But as a songwriter or a creative, you're saying as soon as I die, I should lose all that income. So just to put this in perspective, I write a CD. Prince has just died. Here's a classic example. David Bowie died. Now, according to this woman, copyright is gone as soon as he dies. So he spent all that money. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit angry here. But he spends all that money making a CD, and the moment he dies, she goes, nah, he doesn't get any copyright. So if he releases that CD, nah, doesn't get anything. It's free. She's basically saying copyright no longer applies to that CD, that music, and it's free for everybody to use. No, it's not. No, it's not. You know, like, the ignorance of this woman was beyond belief. Beyond belief. So, yes, I understand that geotagging or removing that could be good for competition. But to talk about copyright in the same argument and say that it should be gone at the point of death is just ridiculous. Like any kind of person, you're building up something that is going to be handed down to your family, and you're hoping to build up a, let's say, an empire, you know, so to speak, and to think at death, no. One other thing that I'll mention quickly is in this video, and I may do more on it in a future video, is just the fact that I think that the online streaming stuff, it doesn't hurt movies as much as it has really hurt music. Online sales of music is fine, but, and even, you know, in any form, online has hurt music more than it's going to hurt movies, because movies still have a cinematic premiere. People want to go to the cinema and see a movie. A lot of people do, and that's where they get most of their returns. They do get returns from DVD sales or online sales now, but most of it comes from that cinematic release. Music doesn't have that. Music just goes straight to you know, a CD or an online, and boom, it's out there. But music doesn't get all its returns back from some cinematic release. Okay, big artists, they have tours off the back of a CD release, which probably get them the returns. But for, you know, for even you know, a lot of smaller artists, you know, it's hard. And I mean, there's a lot of artists not doing big tours. Big tours are harder than you know, like a movie can go bang, bang, bang all over the world. I can't play a concert in every cinema around the world on the same day. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to do more on that, because it has really affected artists. And so, yeah, so look, if you hear anything more about this, please don't support the fact of the removal of copyright at death, because that is just absurd. But the removal of geotagging, maybe it's a solution, but all the countries effectively have to agree on what copyright's going to be. So I'm Simon, Sole Trader, Simon from Tech My Life Video. Please, whichever channel you might be watching this on, please subscribe, please like the video, please comment below. I'm Simon from Tech My Life Video, and we'll see you next time.